guys, welcome back to video 7 in our Gavel estate planning intake workflow video series. Today we're going to go over the data manager and the push function and what that looks like for the different types of users in your Gavel account. Let's get started. So your data manager is how you can access previously ran sessions of any of your workflows. For an organizational user, the only sessions they're going to be able to see are sessions that they themselves have ran. For builders, they can see any workflow sessions ran in workflows that they own, and admins can see workflow sessions ran in any workflows that they own and any other builders within their account own. And you can access those by going to Buy Workflows. You can see there's a list of all the workflows that I own in my account. I am an admin on this account, so if there was someone else, it says owned by me. I would also be able to see all of their workflows as well. It would say owned by whoever else. For a builder who does not have admin access, you will only see sessions owned by you. So if you and someone else in your organization have the same exact workflow in your account, you'll only be able to see the sessions that are submitted to your version of the workflow, not everyone else's. So this means for client-facing intake processes, the builder who owns the workflow with the link that you're sending to your clients is the only one who can see those sessions that your client submits. Admins can also see those sessions that your client submits. And then for pushing, what that means is organizational users, they have the ability to push, but they will not be able to push client-submitted answers into a secondary workflow because they won't have access to those client-submitted answers in the data manager. Now that you understand a bit about how the data manager works and who has access to what, we'll talk about the push function. The most important thing to know about the push function is in order for it to work, the variables you want to carry over from one workflow to another have to match. So what I really recommend doing is first fully build out that client-facing intake form. You want to get all the questions you need your client to answer built out and all of your page and question logic for that set. And then you'll duplicate this workflow because you need the variables from this workflow to exactly match the variables in your push to workflow. And the way to duplicate that workflow is you go to these three dots and you click duplicate workflow, and then it will create an exact duplicate copy for you. I've already done that here. And then you just want to name them so that you know which one is your client facing and which one is the internal. So I named the previous one estate planning intake client facing, and then this one is estate planning intake push to. And you can see I have all of the same exact questions and the same exact variable names, the same pages and section titles, and then I have this new page, or this new section of internal questions. And then that comes with 3 pages, one for questions regarding the clients, questions regarding the spouse's documents, and then basic questions like what the signing date is and signing state, etc. So this is where you'll ask your questions that are for you and not for your client, such as, is the power of attorney going to be springing or durable? Should the healthcare power of attorney take effect immediately? If there are clauses, this is a great thing to do for like wills and trusts. If you have different articles or clauses that should only be inserted under specific conditions, you can just build out what we call a clause library. You just list them all in a multi-select question and select which ones need to be inserted into your documents. And then the way that this works is once you've added the additional questions you need to that second workflow, you'll just save it. And then your client will submit answers to this client-facing form. So we'll go ahead and run that and fill that out. And then once they've fully filled that out, they'll submit it, and then you will see their answers in the data manager. If you are an admin, you'll have access, or if you are the builder that owns the workflow that they submitted their answers to, you will have access. So you'll go into your data manager, by workflow, and find that most recent session. And from here, you'll click this button, and you see this is now gray and you're able to click on it. You'll choose the workflow that you want to push those variables into, and then click that button. And you'll see all of that information that was submitted by your client carries over. And you're able to go into each of these sections and you can still check them. And if there's any misspellings or anything that needs to be changed, you can do that. But otherwise, the only questions that you have to answer are the ones that were designated for internal use. These were not in that first workflow. Your client never saw them. They're just for you. And then once you fill that out, the rest of the way, you'll be able to generate documents from it. And we're going to go through attaching the document templates and setting the output logic for those in our next video. That is a basic overview of your data manager and a demonstration of the push function in Gavel. That brings us to the end of our video. As always, if you would like additional information, you can go to help.gavel.io. And if you haven't yet and you'd like to get started with a Gavel account, you can use this link to get started with a free trial with Gavel. And this link is also available on our channel page. If this video was helpful to you, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.